This lesson is on game theory. You can expect to have at least one or two multiple choice questions on this concept. Sometimes it appears as a free response question, and it helps us to also understand the behavior of firms in an oligopoly, who are somewhat interdependent upon each other, with each other. Now, the first situation is also called a prisoner's dilemma. Here's the prisoner's dilemma. You have two prisoners, prisoners A and prisoner B. They are criminals who were caught robbing a bank. Now, before they robbed the bank, they promised each other that if they got caught, they would not tell on each other, they would not cooperate with the police, they would keep their mouths shut. And therefore, it would make it harder for the police to perhaps to have a case to convict these people and put them away for a long time. All right, so they're both caught. This chart shows these possible scenarios for what will happen to them. Okay. The first is the number of years that prisoner A would go to prison, stay in prison. The second number after the comma is how many years would prisoner B go to prison in that scenario. So we have four different scenarios. This one is what if they cooperate with each other, they keep their mouth shut. This one is what if prisoner B defects and tells on prisoner A. However, prisoner A kept their end of the deal and cooperated and kept their mouth shut. In this box, we have what happens if prisoner A tells, but prisoner B keeps their mouth shut. And here, in this box, what happens if both prisoners actually defect and tell the police everything they know and tell on the other person. Okay, so each prisoner has a choice to make, and there are four different outcomes based on their choices they can make. Okay. Now, so if prisoner B keeps their end of the bargain and keeps their mouth shut, cooperates with their other prisoner, and prisoner A also cooperates with B, so again, we're going to be in this box right here. They would both go to prison, but for not very long, because the case against them would not be very strong. So prisoner A would go to prison for 1 year, prisoner B would go to prison for 1 year. Combined would be 2 years of prison between the two of them. However, is that in the best interest of each prisoner? Well, look at prisoner A. Yeah, if they both keep their mouths shut, he's going to have to go to prison for a year. But what if he told on the other guy and cooperated with the state? He defected. And prisoner B, they kept their end of the bargain. Well, in that scenario, we'd be in this box right here. Prisoner A would get to go home, would not go to prison at all, and prisoner B, having been told on and all the evidence, would go to prison for 3 years. So which is the better individual choice for prisoner A? To keep their mouth shut or to tell on the other prisoner? Well, it's to tell on the other prisoner, which would get them out of jail. However, prisoner B has the same opportunity. Prisoner B, if they cooperate with prisoner A and they don't tell, they'll go to prison for 1 year. But if they tell on prisoner A and prisoner A cooperates, prisoner B will stay out of prison and prisoner A will go to prison for 3 years. So they both have what's called a dominant strategy. They don't have a dominant strategy, but they have a best case scenario. Okay? They have a best case scenario. Prisoner B, their 0 is better than 1 year. They're going to tell on the other guy. Prisoner A, 0 is better than 2. They're going to tell on the other guy. So they're both going to tell. And if they both tell, where do we end up in the matrix? The payoff matrix, this is called? Well, in this box right here. They both tell on each other, and the outcome there is they both go to prison for 2 years. Ouch. Now, the dilemma is that if they kept to their end of the bargain, and didn't tell, they would end up in this box right here, each going to prison for 1 year. Notice that if you add up the total years of prison between the two prisoners, 1 plus 1 equals 2. This is the best box to be. The total years of prison in this box is 3, in this box it's 3, and here 2 plus 2 is the worst box, 4. So if they were rational and worked together and collaborated, they could maximize their situation here, but by being selfish and maximizing their own personal gain, what they thought they were doing, they actually end up in the worst box collectively, 2 plus 2, 4 years, and they go to prison where they thought they might be getting out of prison altogether. So this is the prisoner's dilemma. Look at this next situation. You have two companies. They neither are in Green Bay. Okay, so let's say they're two restaurants, say Outback and TGI Fridays. They're in Appleton, but they're not in Green Bay. And they're deciding whether or not they should enter the Green Bay market and start doing business. So here is firm X decision, either enter the market or status quo. Here's firm Y, they're entering Green Bay or staying out of Green Bay. And then they've listed the profit that they would get by doing each. So firm X enters the market and firm Y enters the market. This would be the outcome here. If neither enters the market, they're in the status quo here, so on and so forth. So again, the question becomes, what is in the best interest of the firms individually, and what might be in the best interest of the firms collectively? Well, if firm Y enters the market, if firm X does, they end up here making a profit of $3 million. If firm Y does not enter the market and firm X enters the market, then they will profit by $6 million. If firm X stays out of the market and firm Y enters the market, X will end up with only $1 million of profit. And if firm X stays out and firm Y stays out, they'll make 5. So take a look. If firm Y enters the market, is there a better scenario for firm X? Should they enter it or not? Yes, because entering the market gives you 3, staying out gives you only 1. In this scenario where firm Y does what they want to, entering the market, firm X is better off entering the market. It gives them $2 million more profit. Firm Y, if they stay out of the market, firm X enters, they get 6. If they stay out, they get 5. 6 is better than 5. So look in this scenario. It does not matter whether or not firm Y, what they do, firm X is better off entering the market. 3 is better than 1, 6 is better than 5. This is called a dominant strategy. A dominant strategy means that a firm is better off making one decision, either entering or staying out, makes one decision, and they're better off regardless of what the other firm does, the other player does. Firm X is better off entering the market regardless of the decision firm Y makes, therefore they have a dominant strategy to enter the market. Firm Y also has a dominant strategy. If firm X enters the market, Y gets 3 if they enter the market. If firm X stays out and they enter the market, they get 6. Firm Y does. If firm Y keeps the status quo, they stay out. Firm X enters, it's $1 million profit for Y, and if firm Y stays out and firm X stays out, Y would get 5. 6 is better than 3. 5 is better than 1. In either scenario, firm Y also has a dominant strategy. Their dominant strategy is to stay out of the market. Okay? So, what are they going to do? I'm sorry, shoot. 3 is better than 1, and 6 is better than 5. I do this a lot. So 3 is better than 1, 6 is better than 5. Firm Y has the dominant strategy. They should also enter the market, okay? Because they're comparing this to this and this to this. So both firm X and firm Y, their dominant strategy is to enter the market. If they both enter the market, they're going to end up in this box right here, with a total combined profit of $6 million. Now notice, once again, like in our first scenario with the prisoner's dilemma, this is not the best scenario for them to be in. If they had colluded, if they had worked together, they could have decided, you know what, let's both stay out and our profit will be higher. But they went for what they personally thought would be the best scenario for them, their dominant strategy, and it produced an ideal a scenario, an outcome that was not the optimal ideal for them both, individually or collectively. So this helps us understand why firms, especially in oligopoly, are very tempted to collude, to work together, because they know that if they do, they can maximize their profit. Of course, at whose expense? The consumer.